evening. So guys, thank you all so much for your emails asking questions for tonight's live coaching. I am going to be doing this every 2 weeks, and I'm answering your questions. So this is live coaching with a Q&A. So if you do have any questions that you would like answered or any specific help, please either put it in a comment on the Facebook page or in the Facebook group, or you can email me at info@scarlettecoaching.com. So tonight's Q&A is going to be, first of all, on a question that was put by Tarina, and she was asking for help with singing with hypothyroidism. Now this is a subject that's very, very close to my heart because I myself suffer from hypothyroidism. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, so your thyroid is a gland. It's part of your endocrine system, and it sits right here, right at the right where we don't want it to sit as singers, or where we do want it to sit. So your thyroid produces two hormones predominantly. One is called T3 and T4. Now these hormones are incredibly important for most of your body's functions. It's kind of like the engine room of your metabolism. So if you have hypothyroidism, like I myself suffer from, you can experience all kinds of horrible symptoms, from extreme fatigue to like brain fogginess and memory issues. It even affects your skeletal system. It's a real key gland in our whole body's functioning. So hypo is if you don't produce enough T3 and T4. Hyper is if your thyroid is kind of in overdrive and produces too much, and that will give you symptoms like anxiety, extreme weight loss, all kinds of other things. It can also affect your heart. So back to hypothyroidism, which is what we're talking about this evening. So all kinds of symptoms: fatigue, weight gain, swelling. In terms of your vocals, you might find that you have a loss of range. I myself sometimes feel that I struggle with vocal fatigue, which makes complete sense because the rest of me can be extremely tired as well. And the other thing about this it is a chronic condition, and it's very, very difficult to manage. Partly because it's hard to actually understand the symptoms. So, for example, I just found out this very recently that I need to have more of my medication because I haven't got enough because my condition has worsened. So, I kind of have mistaken some of those symptoms, which is extreme fatigue, because I'm very, very busy at the moment. And as we all know, life has been very, very stressful this year. So it can be very difficult to know what is normal stress, what is normal fatigue, and what is not. And it also can be very difficult to find the right medical support. So the first thing I would say is, if you feel like you've got any of these symptoms, is make sure you get yourself to your doctor, and if you feel that that's not enough, go and seek some expert medical help. Now there is also lots of conflicting thoughts on the standards of the testing and how effective that testing is. It's a very complicated subject. So for example, when I used to go and see an endocrinologist, he would always say to me that the NHS in the UK, that our testing ranges and limits are no good. He personally didn't think that the thresholds were high enough or low enough. So that'd be my first piece of advice. Get yourself to your doctor, try and support yourself and find the right medical team to help you, and probably a doctor who understands that it's also not just about what a test result is showing you on a piece of paper. It's about how you feel and the symptoms you're presenting. Now, in terms of us as singers, what can we do for ourselves? I can't say to you that there's magical exercises that you can do to help you with your singing. It's back to that conversation of your voice is your instrument, which is your body. So the most important thing is to try and support yourself as much as you possibly can, body, mind and soul. So make sure that you are on a fantastic diet. Make sure that you are fit and healthy, or as fit and healthy as you can be. Make sure that you are mentally fit and healthy as well. So my wife just bought me this book very, very recently, and it's it's this. It's called Thyroid Healing, and I am currently trying to implement a lot of the things that are in this book, and I'm only actually a week in, but I have to say, so I've just been told to up my medication, and I'm choosing not to right now. I'm going to try some dietary work and look at my own lifestyle and where I can make improvements. But the reason I love this book is because, again, he's not just talking about your diet. It is an all-round holistic approach to health. So there's a fantastic section in the back on exercises, visualizations to support your thyroid health, which I personally think is fantastic. So yeah, in terms of what can you do for yourself as a singer, that's it. Make yourself as healthy as you possibly can, body, mind and soul. In terms of exercises, if you are finding effects, like I myself say, I struggle with vocal fatigue sometimes. I haven't actually found anything I can specifically do except be aware of that. So, you know, if I'm feeling an effect, or feeling my range isn't great, I'm feeling a little bit swollen, I like to do stretching and yoga because I find it helps get my get everything moving, get my lymphatic system moving. It helps with that swelling. So I hope that's helpful. I'm also, so the coaching I was going to do tonight is in response to a question that Paul put, which was, what's my favourite warm-up? Okay, so, warm-ups. Now, first of all, what is the difference between a warm-up and exercising? So if I'm talking to you about my day-to-day life, or I don't have a gig tonight, what have I done for myself vocally? Remember, again, your body is your instrument. So it's not just about what we do here, it's about the rest of us. So I like to start my day, this is, you know, when I don't have a gig, I like to start my day with a walk, get my blood pumping, get my body awake, warm up for my day. And why I do that, I also work on my mindset. I like to do some gratitude listing and some positive affirmations and get myself set up and warmed up for my day in general. In terms of me and when I do vocal exercises, so if I was, I do vocal exercises every single day, and I tend to do that when I'm washing up or cooking food, because I can do it in the kitchen, you know, and it's just a part of my daily routine then. So if I'm going to do exercises, I will start with like long held notes, and I'll probably start with humming a 5-note scale, something like that. Nice and light, just sort of, you know, getting my voice moving. But after that, I have specific exercises for working on specific things that I want to work on. So at the moment this year, I've had a goal of trying to improve my flexibility. So after my, you know, literally I do that 5-note humming scale, I'll do for 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes. After that, I'm going to do exercises specifically for flexibility. How many do I do a day? I'm kind of in the camp of Pavarotti. Pavarotti said he only ever warmed up for 10 minutes a day. So if I'm doing specific exercises, I tend to do 10 to 15 minutes a day. And on top of that, I will then sing songs. I don't have specific songs that I use as part of my warm-up. I will work on songs that I need to work on for whatever's going on in my life right now. And again, I don't have a set routine, but if so for example, I'm going in the studio next week to record 4 songs. So I'm looking at those 4 songs, and I might run through them each once, just humming or lightly vocalizing the melody on a vowel sound, just to make sure that the pitch is fine, that I've got the pitch set in. You know, next run through I might specifically, so for example, back to this session, 2 of the songs I'm working on, the chorus is very, very difficult because it includes big interval jumps. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time just zoning in on those choruses. Another song I've got you know, some work to do on the breathing in the verse. So I will be very, very specific with how I then work on my songs. But again, I tend to only spend about half an hour a day doing that. Now, in terms of a gig warm-up, very, very different, because we are not at that point looking to do exercises to improve our voice. We're looking to get our bodies ready for physical activity. Just like if I was gonna, you know, I'm Usain Bolt warming up for the 100 meters. You know, my primary care at this point is to get blood moving, to get my mindset right, to get my breathing working, to get my body loose. So I actually like to start my warm up with some movement, some physical movement. I have a favourite song for this, and it's Human Nature from Michael Jackson. So if you have gone through my 7-day singing challenge, I take you through my whole physical warm up. And that's what I do. I mean, the reason I like this song as well is because, you know, back to the holistic approach, it's a chilled song. It chills me out. So if I've got a gig coming up, I want to feel good. I want to put myself in a positive mindset. I want to get myself happy and excited rather than shrinking and scared. So I put on Human Nature. I'm going to start by maybe doing some marching on the spot. I'm going to be doing big arm swings forwards and back. I might do some twists. I might do some side bends. I'm going to be looking left and right, and then I'm going to look down and slowly back, and gently ear, shoulder, little half roll, then I'm going to do some shoulder rolls. So I tend to spend a lot of time focusing on my back and my neck, because these are the parts that I really want to warm up, and also this is the parts of our body where we tend to hold a lot of that stress. So then I'm going to, I've done my walks on the spot, I've done some side bends, I've done some neck movements, I've done my shoulders. I then personally like to do a little bit of work on my back. Be very, very careful with this if you have any back issues, and I would not recommend it without seeking some medical advice first. But I like to roll down, so I put my chin to my chest, and very, very gently, my feet kind of picked apart. I just roll down so that and hang there for a few seconds, and then very gently come back up. So that's all the way to the ground and then all the way up. And that can be it. That can be it for my physical warm-up. As I say, the goal is to just get my body loose, get my body moving. So then I'm going to be doing a little bit of breathing, okay? And again, there's no right or wrong. This is try things out. You know, find your routine, find out what works for you, because part of that routine is getting you ready, getting you, in that mindset to go on stage. So after I've done my warm-up, I almost find like the dressing process and getting ready is just as important. It kind of reminds me of Batman. When I put on my leather trousers and I put on my wrist cuff, I kind of put myself in that place of going out to take care of business, right? Kind of like a superhero. But anyway, back to the warm-up. So then I'm going to do some breathing. Now, I really, really like just gentle Tai Chi or Qigong breathing exercises. So I'm going to take a deep breath in, and then I'm going to breathe out. But if I'm feeling really, really tense and anxious, sigh out. Sighing is a fantastic release for your heart chakra. It's actually a Reiki exercise. So I'm going to breathe in, and then sigh out. Imagining all the time that I've got roots growing from my feet. I'm always barefoot at this point. Deep into the ground, roots going deep down into the ground. So that's my breathing, and I might go through, I might spend 4 or 5 minutes on breathing, because if I'm tense and I'm uptight, the process is not just about getting my diaphragmatic breathing working for singing, but it's also about managing my anxiety and managing my fear. Okay, so down to work for the vocals. What am I then going to do? Vocalizing before a gig can be tricky because we can feel a bit dumb. if people are listening, it can feel very, very embarrassing and make you feel self-conscious. If that doesn't bother you, fine, crack on, have at it. If it does bother you, take yourself off somewhere. If you've got a car outside or a tour bus or whatever else, try and find yourself somewhere private where you can go and wail and make sounds. So again, for me, I tend to go through a 5-note scale, and that will depend on how I'm feeling. So if I'm really tense and I'm really uptight, I might work on my tongue release on this as I do this. I might do my 7 points of relaxation. So, this is all in the course, in the 7-day singing challenge, if you want to check it out further. Running my hands down my face, giving my cheeks a good rub, releasing my jaw, gently massaging my larynx, my head, back, shoulders. I might also do some umming and chilling, which is kind of like this, to release my jaw, or my tongue, blah, 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 releasing tension. That's my goal right now at this point, to just let go of any tension, get my voice moving. So once I've done my 5-note scale, I'm probably then, and I'll go through my range on that, I'll probably then be doing some sirens. I love sirens, especially before a gig. Now you don't have to go nuts here, you can do small sirens, you know, you don't have to go woo all the way through your range, you can just do smaller ones, you can go ah, ah, woo. So again, whatever you're comfortable with. And that's pretty much what I'll do for a gig. You know, depending on how long I'm going on stage. The other thing to bear in mind is if I'm going on stage for 2 hours, you know, for a big 2-hour gig, that's pretty much all the warm-up I'll do, because I'll warm into the gig. So I'm not going to go out and like bang off straight away with a massive song. I'll ease myself in. So the first 2 or 3 songs will be a bit lighter. Having said that, if I'm doing a 20-minute showcase or a radio show or something like that, it's live, I will warm up for longer. So I might then do some arpeggios after my sirens. I'm absolutely definitely going to then sing through at least a couple of the songs in my set. So if you've got a longer gig, you don't need to warm up as much before it, because you can ease into it. If you've got, you know, an audition, a showcase, or, you know, a live session on radio or something like that, you will want to warm up more. So I hope that's helped. If you want to see this book again, it's The Medical Medium, Thyroid Healing by Anthony William, and that's what I'm currently working through myself. If you have any questions for the next Q&A session, which will be in 2 weeks, please chuck me an email or post it on Facebook. Take care.